Hello guys, this is Archie Luxury and you are on the Marcus Allen Frishman show. That's right, that's what we're doing. I'm just waiting for Marcus to enter the building. We'll just wait for him. He will be here very soon. And then we can have our fun with the Marcus, the great guy, the greatest entertainer of all time. He's cool. He's cool. He's great. And we really enjoy these shows. We do appreciate your support to keep these shows going. We have network costs. I've got to pay Archie Luxury Channel a fee to do these broadcasts, and nothing is free in this world. You know how it is. Nothing is free forever in this world. So we do greatly appreciate you guys. Here he is, the Marcus Allen. Hello, Mr. Frishman. How are you today?
Archie, I am Marcus Allen Frishman, and you're not. Welcome to my show.
Marcus, I'm starting to
I love the
feel
confetti
like
when I do that.
Yes, yes.
I don't know how that happens, but mysteries of technology.
I think it's something, it's a setting that you do certain things, you get certain things. I don't have that stuff happening for me, but you do. I think it's part of your Apple, because I'm a PC man. PC man.
I got off PC. Well, I got the Apple iPhone in the first year. What was that? 2008. And I got off PC not that long ago, but long enough to have 3 Apple Macs, desktop Macs, and iPads. I've had 3 of those. I've had 6 iPads, and I think I get the iPhone.
Is the president a Mac man or a PC man in the White House?
Well, I don't think he has a choice, because the White House is a PC complex. And they actually don't know the answer to that question. I'm sure he runs around with whatever he runs. You know, the phone that was presented to Barack Obama and our previous president, whose name I would prefer not mention, it upsets me.
Yes.
Was allocated by a company that I have affiliations with, because the Defense Department and its subsidiary departments and outside contractors couldn't really make a phone that Barack Obama insisted on carrying that was secure. Previous to Barack Obama, you could not really have, the president could not have a cell phone. Well, you know, intermittent, worthless calls occasionally, but no, he couldn't carry one. There were too many risks. And as the phone technology increases, you certainly can't carry it with you because of tracking technologies and things. So they developed a phone, my friend did, and he sells it to the Defense Department, countries, world leaders, and something under 200 people, which is a very small number of people in the executive branch that have this. And then congressmen and senators have been known to buy them privately. They're about $5,000 to $8,000, depending upon the model. They are protected.
We've got a super chat here from Black Cat 997, $5. Gentlemen, my apologies for missing the last show. I was in the middle of buying a car at the dealership. Best regards, Black Cat 997. We need to know what car, what model, what accessories, what was the deal. You've just spilled the beans. We want to know more. Marcus, I got something to show you.
And it will cost you another $5, Black Cat.
I just got this photo in last night. Have a look at this photo.
What do we got, Archie? Well, that's your car.
Is my BMW. He's just had it ceramic coated.
Oh,
and
yes,
it looks amazing. Look at that. It looks absolutely amazing.
Well,
Look
no doubt
at
if he didn't do the ceramic coat himself, they do paint.
No, he got a company to do it.
Okay, so they did paint correction. There's like, and I did it once myself, and I've also paid several times to have it done professionally. There's like 6 stages to make the paint perfect. You have to take, I won't go through each stage, but I know what they are, and it costs 400 and change to just buy enough equipment to do the project. And then it took me on my Porsche 9 hours over 6 days. I couldn't do it all in one day. 9 hours over 6 days to complete the process. When I had it professionally done, they kept the car 3 days. Now, there are a lot of places that will come out and do a quick ceramic with a touch-up. You know, you can do that on a new car. But it will repel. Here's what I've learned about ceramic, having 2 cars that have had it. It will repel dirt. Dirt will not stick to this car, and it will stay cleaner longer. I went from weekly washes to once a month. And I live in a type of weather where it is clear, but we get soot and dust and particulates. That's what happens.
I must say, it looks exceptionally beautiful in this photo here. It looks exceptionally beautiful.
I like how he got the red caliber brakes in there.
Yes, yeah, they look absolutely beautiful. Look, it was
Archie, don't you hate the grill on the new BMW models?
Oh, you're talking about the beaver teeth grill?
The massive, long beaver teeth thing.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, I actually grew to like the beaver teeth, but this was a much more conservative, much more traditional. I like this model. I really liked from the day it came out. Look, I'm just saying to you there, it looks amazing. I'm happy to have passed it on to the next custodian. Okay. The guy is really enjoying it. He's gone for some nice drives in it. He's having a lot of fun with it, which is wonderful. So I don't feel bad or jealous or anything like that. We got a super chat here from Chris F. He says, $5. Is it true Australian police use BMWs? The Highway Pursuit does use. They actually use. I don't believe they use the 3 Series. They use the 5 Series. I think it's the 530D, the diesel 5 Series, which has got a lot of. It's a 6-cylinder diesel, a lot of low-down grunt. Very, very fast car. And they also use the X3 and X5. So, yes, they do. They do. Some different states do use the B. Look, just looking at this photo here, it's beautiful. I'm really, look at it, think far out. I kind of regret that. Well, look, it is what it is.
Archie,
you know what? I'm happy. Sorry?
Archie, you missed the car. You missed this car.
Oh, I do, definitely. But I'm happy that I got the money and I don't have continual expense. You know, the other side of the coin is I've cut my costs because I wanted to. I'll be honest with you, Marcus. Let me be totally honest with you. I'm concerned with how my business is performing, okay?
Well, things are changing.
I'm concerned that whereas in the past I was making 100,000 a year, I may only make 30,000 a year. And
Archie, you're not alone. I follow other watch-themed shows, and I would not name them here. But just last night, another one said he's changing, and he's big, like you. He's changing his format. He's doing some additional stuff outside of YouTube, and he did the announcement, we're doing something new. This is what's happening. Oh, by the way, Edith, the infamous Edith, is sending us a message saying she's on a plane And to fit her style, one of her messages also says, "Show me the money." We got you here, Edith.
She's a lovely girl. I had a lot of fun talking to Edith. And I must tell you, I think some of Edith's, she wanted a guy to be worth 500,000. I was rather concerned with these figures, right?
Yeah.
But I appreciate her honesty. I do appreciate Edith's honesty. And if you never ask, you will never receive. Let me say that to you. If you never ever ask, you definitely will not ever receive. So,
you know, on that point, Archie, I quote my mother a lot. And on that point, my mother addressed it with good advice. And she said, Marcus, people need, and she meant me, people and me and everyone need to be demanding. And you have to be polite when you do it, but it has to be firm. And my father co-opted her recommendations with, and if you get a no, Marcus, get it 3 times before it's real. So my mother said, be demanding, ask what you want, demanding to people, whoever it is, for whatever reason, however small or large, and wait till they say no 3 times, which I don't always do. But in the end, here's the key. Here's the key to success on this. Don't get angry when you don't get what you want. Just be disappointed. Anger is very external and causes trouble for you. Being disappointed and being angry causes trouble for other people, is what she said. Being disappointed only causes you some trouble, and it's way less than any anger residual. So just be demanding. And Edith is very polite, very demanding. And if she doesn't get it, I'm sure she'll be disappointed because she knew my mother's philosophy.
Yes, that's exactly right there. You are 100% on the money.
And Black Cat missed a good show because last week we talked about my watch collection for the entire show. I've lost count, Archie, but I think I showed 2/3 only of my watch collection. And I don't know what that number was, but I always say I have 100 watches, give or take.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's, I've got to tell you, that was a very interesting show. It was great to see the variety and the scope.
It was very different.
Yeah, I was very happy.
There are some watches, Archie, I don't have, but I have decided to be a controlled watch collector now. I don't know if I'll live up to it, but I know what's next on my list. And I do know what's next on my list. Pardon me, I'm forgetting what I want, but I'll tell you as I think of it. But I don't know. I just have too many watches, as you can see. And I have a fair amount of luxury watches.
Yes, exactly right there. That's the way to go there. Marcus, I've got to tell you something. How are things with Miss Winkle? How is she going? What's happening there?
Well, everything's fine. I have a picture of Miss Winkle. If you want.
I got a feeling, Marcus, you might. I feel, I don't know how to tell you this. It might be time for you to move on and find someone who's more enthusiastic to you.
Well, Archie, I have enthusiasm. It is I who is. Remember, it is I who ended the relationship when marriage was there at my doorstep. But I did it for a reason, because she wouldn't move to America. And then when she did move here for the job, I convinced her to go to Florida, leave the People's Republic of California, because it's an awful place, and I will catch up with her. So I'm pretty contented with the way it's going.
Okay.
And I'm okay with, remember, I lived in the Philippines 4 months a year. She lived with me and we communicated at the same level, only it doesn't, I guess, doesn't matter if you're 3,000 miles away or 8,000, but the relationship is contented. Let's see. And now I'm less, I should say, less focused on marriage and more focused on just companionship. I'm thinking, being evolved, I didn't share this with you, maybe that's what you're detecting, that marriage is not necessary. I thought it was. It's not. It may be a bad idea, and just have a companion that lives with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Why do I need the paper? So this is a new position of mine. I was so focused on marriage, but you can have a ceremony. It doesn't mean that you can't have a party, if that's what it's about. But I don't know. The moment you sign the marriage document, it creates all sorts of trouble. And if you want to separate, it's a lot of problems for both sides, winners and losers. The winner, to win in a divorce, you are in fact a loser. You just are. If you're a winner, you're a loser. So so I have evolved with my thought, and maybe that's what you're picking up on. And someone's saying they totally agree with me on this point. I think it's that point. 500,000 salary available only for medical surgeons, partners at big law firms, managing directors, big investment banks. I think you folks would be very surprised that when I went and took a job with the Getty Museum. Now, I've been a career political appointee, and I ran my own consulting firm, team of attorneys, CPAs, and lobbyists, but it never occupied a lot of time while it did generate a lot of revenue. So I was getting bored, and I got a job with the Getty Museum for a while. I won't take you through it and why I left it, but when I was looking at the job availability there, the executive jobs at the museum were between $200,000 and $600,000 a year. This is Los Angeles. And if you're going to be hired as an executive in LA, a simple executive, you are going to be paid between $200,000 and $400,000 a year to be a random executive par excellence. But if you want top level, you'll be paid more. In Los Angeles, we are paying housekeepers by virtue of the law about $23 an hour. So it's the way it's going. That's the way it is in California. I don't know how it is around the world, but you make a lot of money here because you must in order to live here. Particularly, people say, well, isn't that just Los Angeles? Los Angeles County has 16 million people. It's massive. That doesn't include San Diego, San Francisco, variety of other. We have almost 40 million people here. So there's a lot of people here, and they're making a lot of money. And for someone to say, well, salary $500,000 is reserved only for top people, a dentist in California, a dentist who just punches the time clock, is not an entrepreneur, doesn't own the firm, he will be, and we have a shortage of dentists, that's why I know this, and I'm involved in the medical industry via consulting, starts at $250,000, $280,000 just to punch the time clock, 8 hours of work, 1 hour lunch, 2 10-minute breaks, and your expenses are paid, and you're at $250,000, $600,000. If you're actually a proprietor dentist, you're making movie star money between $600,000 and $2 million a year. And I'm talking net numbers. So you might be in Wyoming, and if you're in Wyoming, I suppose it's hard to find a job at $200,000 and $300,000 and $400,000, but not here in Los Angeles, not in California. And I'm talking a job, working for someone. When the boss, whoever they are, stockholders, board of directors, CEO, COO, they're making way more than you.
I see. I see what you mean there.
Yeah, when you can drive. Let me give you an anecdote. So in Los Angeles, it takes in a car with no traffic. I mean, which is impossible, right? But pretend to get from one end to the other is almost 2.5 hours drive on a freeway at 55, 60 miles an hour. Right? It's massive. And I could give you the distances from one side to the other. There are points when you're driving down Los Angeles, the major thoroughfares of Wilshire Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard, I could name other streets, where on each side of the street, for miles and miles and miles, and then deep into each side of the street, if you understand what I mean, are homes that cost between $10 and $100 million. We're not talking about Palm Beach, where you could walk the length of the road to see those homes. You would need a jet plane to fly over it to really encompass and be able to see all the homes at that value in Los Angeles. There are tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of them at that price point. That is the power elite. That's the upper echelon, right? We're talking about the 1 and 2 and some 3 percenters that are renting there. Little apartments in LA go a nice, reasonable apartment, 1 and 2 bedroom, is $4,000 starting. And if you're going to go to the internet and find some things at $2,000 and $3,000, trust me, they ain't nice. And I know, I just rented a beach apartment near Beach Pad. Left my 12-room home, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, to move to a beach location and rent out my small home for an astronomical sum. But I will tell you, things are expensive in LA, Archie. McDonald's.
Life is expensive in the developing world. The developing world is very expensive. There's nothing cheap.
Let's not hear anyone complain about Donald Trump. Let's understand the economy in California, 4th largest economy of the world. Under Gavin Newsom, the leftist governor we have here, it has grown from the 5th to the 4th largest economy in the world if it was a country. Under Germany, United States, China, and Japan. Then California. It has insulated itself from what some would call the golden age of Trump. The lower gas prices at $2 and $3 a gallon around the country. They're $6 here, Archie. And we have an automatic increase in gas prices by statute that will go up every year. And we're now voting a new tax increase. And then the minimum wage goes up every year. It's already been passed. So the voters of California get what they deserve. It's not the politicians' fault, because the voters wanted this. It is fully run by leftist Democrats, not good liberals. Hate to get political on this show, but we do it now and then. And it's insulated itself. Its economy does not receive, if there are benefits from the Donald Trump administration around the country, there are certain regions that are insulated. I'm not going to speak of the other regions. There are minimal.
Let me just grab the super chat here. Black Cat 997, $5. AC3 is massively more credible in this conversation with this sweater ensemble. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is true. Yeah, we like that look, Archie, much better.
Let me ask you something. The Brian Epstein files, when are they going to let go of this fucking thing?
I have no idea. I have no thoughts on the Epstein nonsense. He was obviously I say obvious. Look, I have information, maybe that's some public, and he was obviously employed with Mossad. They gather files. That way they can control, certain American politicians, and they do things very nasty. Israel does things in the intelligence community in a very nasty, ruthless way.
You think he was
even America doesn't do? And
you think he was a spy?
Yeah, he didn't really spy. He didn't gather. He wasn't an intelligence gatherer or an analyst or a caseworker, but he was he targeted He targeted individuals of the power elite, and he got information from them and on them that would be useful in a pressure campaign against them. When you want something from somebody at that level in government and in corporate affairs, you simply have to go to them and tell them a detail and say, we need your help on this, or this detail is going to go public. This detail is going to go to your best friend. This detail is going to go to the IRS. This detail is going to go to law enforcement. This detail is going to go to your wife. And whatever that is, fill in the blank, right? And that's how they operate. There are American intelligence does this outside of America. But the Mossad can operate in America, and they have to, and the Mossad is the Israeli intelligence service, and they have to get what they can out of the United States Congress. I'm a big supporter of Israel, and
thank you.
But I'm not.
Thank you for your service.
My opinion on this.
We thank you for your service. Okay.
What are we going to do, Archie?
You think is that nasty to do it? That's so they have no rules.
What's
you really
that?
think that?
Yeah.
Do you think Mossad is that nasty to have no rules like that?
Yeah, pretty much. They will destroy their own agents.
That may not be the pro-Israel line we like to toe here. We like to toe it.
No, well, we have to speak the truth. I'm pro-Israel, 100%. I'm not even being critical of this component, but
sure,
I'm explaining it exists and it's real, and everyone knows it that would study such a thing. But you don't. If you're an American politician, let's take Mr. Rubio, our Secretary of State. He was in the Senate, was head of the Intelligence Committee when he was there. He's now our Secretary of State. Obviously, he receives at the highest level of information. He would never say this, but he knows it exists, and so does many of the decision makers in America know how Israel operates. They're ruthless. They need to get what they get. They need to survive, and they do what they do. You can agree with it or not. They are probably the most powerful entity on Capitol Hill next to the international banking system, which would include the American banking system.
Sure.
That operates on autopilot, pretty much. Donald Trump tried to take down the banks in his first term. He had a working group to break up the banks. The design in the White House proposal that was never introduced, you need legislation for this, would be for every Bank of America branch, Citi branch, Wells Fargo branch, all the international banks, national international banks, American banks, what I mean. If you're a rich guy with 25 million bucks, you'd be able to buy a branch, and that the Bank of America would no longer be able to own that branch. And that was the plan, to break up the banks. They become too powerful. They're clearly in violation of our monopoly laws and collusion laws, because they collude together. And there's laws we have that are, I'm not telling you the names of those laws. I'm using the descriptive word to describe what they do. They protect Americans from collusion of companies, and they protect monopolies. And they are both colluding and monopolized. And they need to be broken up. But Trump has dropped it. He's got to pick his battles. And you have to take down Jamie Dimon and people of his sort.
Yes. Yes.
They're very powerful, the banks, and they hurt a lot of people in America, and they certainly hurt the world.
Payday lenders are worse, but
yes, those are easily regulated because they're independents. I represented a payday lender once.
That is sorry, you represented a payday lender. Go on.
I did. It was let me tell you about it real quick. I don't want to say names, though. It was somebody who does a deep dive could probably figure it out. So it was the largest independent bank in the country, or in the state. the state of California, which is big enough, and an independent bank. So that's a definition of it. And this bank had one branch, right? A big one. And they came to me, the CEO came to me, and it was just one CEO. Call him the owner. But there was a board of directors, but this was a big branch controlled by one man, essentially. And he came to me and he said, he hired me twice for the tax issues on some artwork in his personal purchases that he felt were tax exempt. And the bank had owned these cash facilities, payday lenders, Western Union, these little stores that you go to cash your checks and stuff like that. And they owned them throughout the state. And some assemblyman had introduced a bill, or a senator, I can't remember right now, introduced a bill to really affect foreign payday lenders, a Canadian company that was doing very bad things. So this bank came to me and said, look, we know that we're not a target of this, but it's going to affect us. You got this creepy company from Canada coming here doing the same thing. So we need an amendment to the legislation to exclude us. Let us do it, but not them. Well, that was all fine and dandy, but it was easier just to kill the bill. So, and that way we made, from a consulting standpoint, we accomplished it by making the same amount of money and doing way less work than amending a bill. That would be a process. We got the author to kill it. And in California, we have something called 2-year bills. So you can kill it, and then it becomes active again in 2 years, and then you get hired again to kill it again. So it was good for business to get a kill as opposed to an amendment, since we charged a flat rate. So that's what we did. It was one of my first clients. They paid $16,000 a month. I had to split it with one partner. It was very little work, and we had a win bonus because we knew that the monthly fee would end very quickly because we did it so fast. And good consultants do that kind of thing. I vowed after that I would never charge a monthly fee and only do a flat fee. So we had a monthly fee for several months, killed the bill, and then a massive win bonus I shared with my partner. The independent bank. And there are laws now that regulate payday lender services in America. In California, it's a state law. There are some federal laws, but the state of California protects you very well.
I don't know. Payday lending services, I mean, that sort of stuff is just so vile because you get to a stage where you can never get out of it. You're trapped forever.
Well, that's why there are regulations to prohibit certain amounts of interest and other fees. I don't know.
I mean, let's face it, if you're borrowing above 10% per annum, you've got to be very careful.
And if you're not paying above 10%, you're going to have a hard time finding anyone who's willing to lend you that money. So risky transactions require, of course, a bigger investor.
These payday lenders can charge 30% a month, not a year. 30% a month.
I think that's even in California. I don't know the number in California right now, but I remember when I did this, it was in the 20 percentile. It's probably gone up, sure. I've never understood payday lending, but I guess because all you're doing is getting your paycheck. I think this is what it is. You're getting your paycheck sooner than your paycheck, right? You're not getting more than your paycheck, right, Archie?
No, but what they're effectively charging an interest rate of, they're effectively charging an interest rate of 30% a month.
All for getting a paycheck 13 days or whatever before you get paid next. I don't know. I've never been. Look, these places are. I think they facilitate people who are in real trouble, and I don't know. I don't know much about all of that. I don't know who in the world would need.
Do you carry a credit card balance, Marcus?
I use credit cards and pay them in full at the end of every month, and I rotate my cards, but primarily use one card. So I do
we've got
not
a
have
super chat
any.
here from Black Cat 9975 bucks. This is the real issue. Israeli intelligence, semi-good guys, but now everything they do is the Jews. And we have this social media anti-Semitism problem.
Well, I think I understand what Black Cat's saying. Yeah, it's nothing to do with Jewish people. It's about Israeli people. Israeli people, yeah, most of them are Jewish. Let's not kid ourselves. But Arabs and Muslims are fine Israelis. Members of the Knesset are Arabs, Muslims, and Christians. Israel is a society like America, which is mostly Christian. Israel is mostly Jewish. But American haters of Israel and worldwide haters of Israel have confused their enemy because American Jews are liberal. American Jews are no fan of Israel by and large. And the ones that like Israel are in a very limited like category, right? They like a few things. And then you have people like me that are not leftists who like almost everything Israel does. So, yeah, but Jews generally do. American Jews are Democrats. American Jews are leftists. And American Jews don't believe in free speech. They like to stop people from hating. Now, American Supreme Court, final say on this, a long time ago, resolved the issue of free speech in America. You can hate, and hate speech is protected. It's not in England. I don't know how it is in Australia, but I can say some vile things to racial groups and things if I wanted, and that's a good thing. Not that I say them, but that it's protected, because you don't want anyone deciding what is right and wrong, what is hate and what isn't, even though good people like Archie and I, we know what hate is. But it is allowed, and it should be protected. And you should be able to hate Jews or anyone else you want and say anything vile about
Mind you, they are the smartest people on the earth. You do realize that. Most vaccines and...
Yeah, well, that's because the stereotype is very positive for Jews. Thank goodness for that. There is stereotypes, Archie, on ethnics and stereotypes on religion and other human qualities, and stereotypes tend to have a grain of truth to them or more, and they're just a chapter in the book of life. I think somebody at the TED talk referred to it as a chapter in a book, not the whole book, which is true. Yes. But you can judge a book by its cover, and you should judge people. You should have a judgment and see how it goes and see if you're correct in how you've judged others. There's nothing wrong with that.
100%
I think there are two kinds of people in the world, Archie. There's good people and there's bad people. And that's it. I am colorblind. I am blind of any particular category that you could disparage. I've never disparaged. I've never hated anyone in my life. There's not a single soul that has walked this earth that I have hated. And I don't know why that is, because I have friends and I've asked this question. Do you hate people? Oh, yeah. And they remember some bully or they remember some asshole at work, or they remember. I can remember.
It takes a lot to forgive, but it takes a lot to forgive. You don't have to forget.
That's right.
Say forget.
Yeah, it's amazing. I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's a lot of anecdotal themes, like people that forgive others who have done horrendous things to them or their family, including unaliving them. And it's amazing that there are people out there that can I have trouble with forgiveness.
Sure.
It's not my job to forgive. It's God's job to forgive you. I don't have to. Why do I have to forgive? But I have to treat people right, even people that I may not have. I may have a problem with, but certainly don't hate.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because bad
No, I
things
think
have not really happened to me. So I've not had a lot of experiences in life where some person was
you've had a lot of
behind.
wins. You've had a lot of wins.
I can remember a few people that really targeted me and did some terrible, terrible things. Usually they said something about me that just was untrue, and terrible. Or called me something to my face. That only happens, in junior high and in high school. They could, kids confront kids. Adults do it behind your back. Have you noticed that pattern?
Yes.
Terrible. And people that, if you're going to judge someone,
exactly it.
which you should, if you're going to judge someone, try to get it right. Try to base it on what they actually said. I trust people. If they say or do stuff, I judge them on that. I don't presume things, and I don't skip points to get to an end goal. Well, somebody says same
Exactly
with gold.
right.
What about Larry Ellison? I have a friend that dated Larry Ellison. Of course, she dated.
Sorry?
I have a college friend who may be watching us now and then. Her last name is, maybe I shouldn't say, her last name is the great-grandfather of the owner of Bank of America. Her great-grandfather owned Bank of America. And, she dated Larry Ellison. She dated a lot of famous, wealthy men because she wanted to marry rich. She never did marry.
She was already rich.
What's that? Oh,
she
no. Well, she was wealthy. I don't know the nature of but I wouldn't say she was in the top. She wasn't a Larry Ellison, but you're right.
No, but she was worth several $1 million.
Likely, but that's not. Well, okay, let's put it this way. She once said, interesting that we bring this up because Edith said something similar. She once said to me, Marcus, if they are leasing a jet, I'm not interested. They have to own it. Now, if you know about jets, they range between $20 and $60 million. There's some that are more, like Donald Trump's jet, and that's a very large jet. But most executive jets are between 20 and 60 million. And if she always felt if you don't own one, and you have to lease one, because certainly she wouldn't be anywhere near a man that didn't have a jet. But she had to sort that out. That was one of the sortings you have to do. And I could name all these men that very famous. I know them all that she dated. And always, there was never a tragic ending in any of them. And she would move to another and another, keep a few around. But she was a very, she's my friend. I don't know why I'm speaking past tense. Her relationships were very much like mine, long-term, successful, full of love. But she wanted to be part of a lifestyle of wealthy accoutrements that could surround her. That was the way she was. And she got it. She pursued it.
Sorry?
She pursued it. I think I told you she once dated. I alluded to her before when I talked about Quorum watches. She called him Skeletor, the owner. He's dead.
Oh, yes. She was saying yes.
She dated him. She also dated Donald Trump, I believe 1 or 2 dates, and it's been documented on Inside Edition because they interviewed her. So I mean, and the list is much longer and much more famous than most of these names that you might think. And she's my best friend. She lived in my house, I remember once for 4 months while I was in the Philippines, because one of her homes, which is in Century City, had to be refurbished. Something wrong with the windows on the building. So they kicked everybody out, billed them loads of money. She moved into my house a few days before I left for my 4-month vacation. Took care of my cat. I believe she didn't have to take care of my dog. I believe I put him, he might have come with me on that trip, or I put him in Balcom Pet Lodge. But anyway, the point is she moved into my house And a funny story, she left the day I arrived. And there was an understanding that if I didn't land on the plane, she would go back and take care of my dog, or my cat rather.
Wow.
And so I got to the house and I settled in. And by morning I woke up and I go, where's my wingback Hancock and Moore leather chair? It's missing. And this was a wingback chair that could recline, a quite expensive chair. And I thought, where the hell is it? I have it here in the other room. And I said, well, where the hell is it? And I texted her, called her, and she said, well, Marcus, it was there. I sat on it every night. What the hell? I've been robbed of my chair. And I panic and I look all around the house in the one day or hours that I was not here and that she was not here, however long it was. I think it was one full day or almost one day. And I called the police. They came out. They took a report. They thought I was a lunatic. I said, well, how could I misplace a chair? It's a massive wingback chair. It is gone. I made her talk. My friend was taking care of the house, and she didn't take it. She doesn't need a chair. And it turns out a friend of mine, very close, knew where my extra key was. And he knew she was leaving. He had a back injury. He's an attorney. First name is George. And he came into my house and he took that chair and brought it to his house, which was, by the way, my old house in Calabasas. He was my tenant at the time. I let him move in there. I had a place in Calabasas I moved out of, and to build a small home in another location. And anyway, finally, I get a text message the next day. Welcome back. Just so you know, I took your chair. George, are you kidding me? I mean, why would you take my chair, by the way? And he said, well, I had this injury and I love that chair. It's so comfortable. He would stay in my house and take care of my cat when I went to the Philippines. But he didn't that time because Allison needed to do it. And he was kind of jealous. But Allison needed to do it because her apartment was being redone. And so he knew the schedule. And he came and got that chair. I was so upset. It took me months to get it back, by the way. I finally sent him links. I'm going to buy you a cheap Lazy Boy chair, $300. I need my chair back. And that's when he said, oh, don't worry about buying me a chair. You can come get it. They made me come get it.
What a great story.
A missing wingback chair. Yeah, people make fun of me. And then, of course, I had explained it to the detective, which legitimized it because they thought I was a lunatic that never didn't have a chair. I mean, I'll never forget that encounter with the two police in my house. I said, you won't take fingerprints or anything? Well, you can't really do that. We'll just take a report. You have insurance? I said, no, I don't have insurance for a wingback chair.
It's part of your house and contents insurance, but wouldn't it? General policy?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. But I didn't think it was insured. I've never made a claim. It was I had one of these cheap homeowners policies at the time. Who knows? But it was a funny thing, wasn't it? Just crazy.
Yeah.
Where's all the super chats today, folks? I mean, come on. You can ask questions when you send in a $1 or $2 or $3 or $10. And we're trying to raise $90,000 for Archie.
That's right. It is a tricky time there. That's one of the reasons that I've been on this economy drive, is to cut my costs because I am concerned things are dropping off, Marcus. And
do you have a plan B, Archie? You're doing mitigation issues, but what about a new plan B? Is there one? Maybe not.
Plan B. I'm already up to plan C or D, I think, Marcus.
Oh. And then you're running out of
look, I'm actually going for I'm going to have a look at some
By the way,
I'm going to Vietnam at the end of March. I'm going to Vietnam. I'm going to Vietnam.
Oh, that's great. Oh, Archie, I have a question on that travel. You came back from your trip early. Your paid hospitality and all of that? What? Why?
I'm still in China. I'm still in China currently.
That doesn't look like, is that their house you're in?
Yeah, that's the suitcase that I'm not allowed to move.
Oh, I get you. The only suitcase you can move. You know what you should do is we should do a show on all of the rules there.
Yeah, very passive aggressive. Like, for example, they took me out to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then they fed me all this stuff. And then within a short space of time, we went out to a seafood. I said, why didn't you tell me that? Because you fed me all this stuff that I would have preferred to have not eaten and enjoyed the seafood. You know what I'm saying? The fresh seafood.
Well, it doesn't even make sense. Why would they take you to two restaurants back to back?
Well, one was for lunch, one was for dinner.
Oh, I see. Well, okay. And you don't have a big enough appetite to solve both?
Well, I kind of did, but it's very passive aggressive, you know.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a night. Why don't you bring them on the show?
No. They wouldn't definitely not do that.
They do know you broadcast, right?
Yes, they're quite aware of that.
And they don't mind it, I guess. Earlier,
no, but I got to be totally honest with you. This is probably one of the last times I'll be coming here.
Oh, that's sad.
They
let you out? Do you ever get out at night? They were
originally saying they wanted me to tour Europe with them, but those plans now they now pretend that was never on offer.
Well, maybe they want to unwind the relationship too. Do you have dinner with them each night? Do you have dinner in their house?
Yes.
Wow. It sounds like a very interesting setup, but it is free and they're quite generous. And did they enjoy their Australian gifts, the trinkets? They didn't come off.
Oh, well. I tell you what they gave me yesterday. Can I give you an example? Yesterday, yeah. They were quite offended with me. They pulled out, they have a lot of vintage wine, which they're in the process of selling a lot of, okay? There's a Chinese wine called Mao Tai. They sold a lot of that. I don't particularly like it. But they found a vintage bottle of, have you heard of Bailey's Irish Cream? It's a liqueur.
Oh, yeah. It's very popular to give as gifts in America, a corporate gift. Bailey's Irish Cream. People pour it in their coffee here. I'm not a drinker of it.
Okay, so they gave me one, right?
That's a gift package, yeah.
However, I then explained to them, I said, look, I am sorry to tell you, because they don't understand it's a liqueur. You don't drink it as a wine. It's a liqueur. It's sort of like a dessert thing, or, you know, after you've had a meal, you'd have a tea or coffee, and then you'd have a liqueur. You know, it's a liqueur. You know what I'm saying, right?
People add it to coffee here. It's a thing for coffee.
Anyhow, they gave me this liqueur yesterday, and I said, oh, no. It says best before 2012.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
I said, you're not supposed, this is not an aged wine. This is a liqueur. It has milk in it. It will go terrible.
It goes bad. I remember because
they were quite offended when I said, look, okay, I'll open it up. You have a smell. Okay.
How was it?
It smelled like coffee vomit.
Oh my God.
Because it's got cream in it. It's got cream. You understand? Like,
yeah,
the alcohol will preserve it.
Maybe they re-gifted it to you. Somebody gave it to them.
And then I said, you should give it to somebody you don't like. If you want to keep it, give it to somebody you don't like, because it'll make them very sick. And what's happened is I ended up pouring it down the sink, and there was just this big ball of fermented milk in the middle of it.
No, that it wouldn't come out.
It stank. Absolutely stank.
Oh, sure. You poured out most of the alcohol, of course. Oh, God.
Yeah. So I said to them, look, this is not.
Stop. I have Mr. Bueller bothering. Mr. Bueller, please stop. He wants to go out.
So that's it. They were upset that I didn't find it useful. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mr. Bueller knows when our show is supposed to be off, and he's saying it's time for me now. Right, Mr. Bueller? Well, Archie, we've done another show.
Yeah, it was quite enjoyable.
Mr. Bueller can't
the
get
dog's
enough.
had enough. He's saying that's it.
Yeah, no, that's what he does. You know, I have to feed him an hour early to do this show, and now he thinks, well, let's cut it off with Archie.
Guys, thank you so much for coming today. Let's thank our super chatters. Black Cat 997, Chris F, Black Cat 997, Black Cat 997, Yankee Doodle. Okay, would you all consider a meetup in Vietnam? Look, I definitely would, but I don't think Marcus would. Vietnam isn't really your genre, is it?
A massive meetup? You know, I tried to meet you in LA, Archie, but you stood me up. I tried.
Yes, that's correct. Marcus, that was years ago. That was a great time. So I want to say thank you. We'll see you next week. Is my last week here. This will be my last week, because the following day I'm actually leaving.
All right.
Okay.
That's fine. You'll have some new stories. Save up the stories with this family, because it's very interesting.
Well, it's a couple, a man and a woman, okay?
Yeah, the man and the woman, the family. I call them the family. All right,
okay, Marcus. We will see you next week. Thank you. God bless. See you later.
Hi, guys. It's Archie Luxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW, David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.